What's up guys? So this is going to be our very first video on our new channel. Today's video is going to be basically introducing myself and the other half of what is basically KG Royals, which is our what's going to be our new channel for our updates and videos on our breeding, our snakes, our plans for oncoming projects, as well as some other little side projects we do as part of our little operation, as we are hobbyist breeders, not fully commercial. So we do have other reptiles and we do breed other forms of reptiles, like little lizards and things like that. So that'll be something we'll get into in later videos. But for now, today is just introducing who we are and what we do. As part of being hobbyist breeders, behind me I have got our rack of adults. We breed royal pythons, also known as ball pythons. We are new to the hobby, so we don't have a huge collection just yet. The bulk of our collection at the moment are babies, our future breeders that were growing up, but we do have quite a few behind us as well. So again, if I can just, there we go. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Big one below me. Again, as this is a hobbyist breeder, we are currently in my own room, my bedroom. Space is short, so if things look a little bit messy throughout videos, or you see things that aren't necessarily reptile based, that's because we are on budget and we are trying to make do with what we've got, making sure we still provide the best for these animals. So again, this is currently the adults, and I will maybe do a full room tour. Like, it's not much, but we'll look into doing a full room tour at some point, just so you can see what we are working with. We've currently got some projects coming into fruition this year, hopefully with some breeding couples giving us some eggs this year. We have got an incubator set up. I will be building a second one, so I might even do a step-by-step on our incubator if you want to watch that as well. But again, we are ball python breeders primarily. We do keep a pair of breeding corn snakes as well as a pair of crested geckos that are also breeding. We've had some eggs off them this year. They're going to be hatching later on this year. And we've also got some leopard geckos, and we've got hopefully breeding plans for those as well. Again, all hobby. We're not looking to go huge into those other projects. We're mainly sticking with the ball pythons, but it would be cool just to get some eggs here and there, and just to have a little bit of fun with some other reptile breeding as well. So that is mainly what we do. Stay tuned, and I will be introducing you to the other half of KG Royals soon. Hey guys, so again, just quickly, before we do introduce the other half of the KG Royal business, I thought I'd talk about our background and how we got into this. So we've been keeping reptiles as pets for quite a few years now. We started with corn snakes probably back in 2010. We ended up moving. We used to live in Bristol. We now live in Wales currently. Shout out to any of the keepers in Wales and Bristol. Always happy to go back. But yeah, we had a pair of corn snakes back about 2010, I believe. But due to the move, we ended up giving them some good friends, and they are still doing amazing. And then I didn't have any reptiles for quite a few years, purely because mum wasn't ready to, keep all the rodents again and fill up the freezer, because not everybody likes to find, you know, dead rats next to their peas. But such is life. So then, when I got a bit older, I started doing all my research again, and I looked into getting some leopard geckos. And I bugged her, and I bugged her, and I bugged her, and I kept going on about the research and all the Latin names and all the genes, and eventually she caved. I went to Pets at Home, not one of the best places. I recommend going to a breeder, or at least someone who has better quality and knowledge of the animals. I went to Pets at Home, and they had a big glass tank with a false Repticarpet. It was covered in calcium. It was an absolute state of the tank. There was like 4 of these lizards in there. They all looked half dead. And I picked the smallest of the runts because that's the kind of guy I am. I like a bit of character. Thought it was a male at the time. We were told they were all like brothers, which is even worse because you're not supposed to keep boys together in a tank. Luckily, they were all little enough that I don't think it was too much of an issue. But again, I'm glad I rescued it when I did. So I named him Obi. Had him for many years, and he was all right for a while. But then, after I think 3 or 4 years, he just stopped eating for a while, and I couldn't figure out why. We ended up having to force feed him baby food out of a syringe. That was a whole ordeal in itself. And he started perking back up again, putting weight on, building up his tail again, because that's where they do store most of their fat and the nutrients in the tail. But again, we'll go more into the leopard geckos in another video. But yeah, so he was on a rocky patch, and then I ended up going to college and things like that, and work was full time, so that started really taking over my life, and I had to move all my rooms around and stuff. I'm part of a big family, so I ended up letting my little sister look after Obi for a while because she wanted a pet. She was really going on about it. So I said, here, I'll micromanage. I'll still help you with it. You can look after him in your room. You can, hold him, pet him, do all the feeding and do all the cool fun stuff. I'll just be there to supervise, make sure nothing's going wrong. Did that for a while, only for her to then be like, oh, I don't actually want it. I want something cute and fluffy like a cat. So she ended up getting rid of Scales and Tails, and he luckily got come back to me because I did miss him, only to find out he stopped feeding again, getting real skinny again. And again, I panicked, so I didn't know what to do this time. I didn't want to have to start force feeding him all over again. So I took him to the local reptile shop near us in Wales after we'd moved. This was after our big move, which I thought might have been one of the reasons. But it turns out he was not even a he was a she. So she was a girl, still named Obi. And it turns out she was lonely, believe it or not. So we went to the pet shop, which is an awesome pet shop. If you're in Wales, shout out Pisces Pet Shops. Gail, you are one of the best in the hobby. You have helped me so many times, and I cannot wait to keep working with you. She ended up selling us another leopard gecko female, and those two have been inseparable since. I've never seen her happier. Obi has been nothing but a big old chubby lizard again, keeping the solid weight, keeping a nice chunky tail, doing everything she should. We upgraded her tank. She's now got an awesome little desert setup, which again, I'll go through that in another video. But that was the first reptile we ever got. So that was Obi, then we got Leia, which is her roommate. Gail was the same lady. She'll be mentioned in a lot of our videos because it's where I get most of my breeders or some of my babies as well, because she is also a ball python breeder as well as many other reptiles. So if you're looking for reptiles in Newport, particularly Pisces Pet Shops, one of the best. But in that shop, she had a pair of corn snakes, and it was what was it now? I believe it was a candy cane and a blood red male. They were being sold as a pair because someone had dumped them in her shop, didn't want them anymore, just wanted to get rid of them. So I saw them, and instantly I said, I need them. I need to have some more snakes again. And Mum was there at the time. This is literally as we were buying, just after we bought Leia, we'd come back in to get some more food and things like that. And I said, I need to have them. Look at this. You can't pass it up. They were going for really, really cheap, purely because the pet shop didn't have room for them. She'd already had loads of snakes. She'd already had all the stuff she needed. They were just dumped on them. So I got both of them for probably a fifth of the price of each, with a tub. All I needed to buy was a heat mat. So I snatched them up, took them home, basically hid them from everybody for a couple of weeks before they all found out that I had them again. And then after we got those, obviously I had to keep going back to the pet shop to get more things like frozen rats and mice. Lizard food, she's now our staple for frozen rats and mice and all our accessories. And she also sold ball pythons. And I, being the man that I am, I'm rather stubborn. Basically bugged and pleaded and begged and showed all the signs again to Mum. And we got our first ball python, and I bought a baby pastel. So she is one of the babies you will see. She was my first ever royal, and she is still my favorite today. We've got other morphs since, and I've got other adults as well, but she will always be my favorite as she was my first. You can never get over your first snake. So that was awesome. Then we bought an adult female. She was also a pastel, which is one of our breeders for this year. She's going into an awesome project that we'll talk about later. We'll do a separate video on just our breeding project for the year and things like that. But that was our first 2 Royal Pythons ever. That's what started this business. That's what got us into breeding. Sounds weird because both of those are girls, but that is where the hobby started. After that, we did loads of research and we got on the morph market. Awesome place to go if you're bored and you just want to window shop and look at future plans. But got on the morph market, ended up buying a breeder male, and then we bought a few more breeder females and males since, grown the collection slightly. Again, this doesn't look like a lot because it's the only adults we have, so we have quite a few couples, but it's the babies. The babies are the bulk of our plan because we thought long term, and I've got some awesome powerhouse babies that'll be coming up in, some of them are boys, so they'll be coming up in about a year or 2. Some are girls, so we have to be waiting a good 3 to 4 years for them to really bring the oomph. But hopefully by then, 3 or 4 years time, we'll be not only a lot more experienced, we'll also be a little bit more financially stronger, so we'll be able to put more into our rackings, because this was basically the most we could get for the space that we had. They do really well. I don't know if you can see that little sheet there, that covers them on most days so that they feel that they've got the dark space they need. The babies are in a cupboard that has shelves in it, so they're in a completely dark space again, so they feel nice and secure. Everything's ventilated, everything's, you know, nice and breathable, but that's them. So that is basically how we started. Started about 10 years ago. We've been keeping reptiles for forever. The first lizard I got, by the way, OB, I mentioned earlier, she's still with us, and she's going to be one of the breeding females that I will be hopefully getting into either next year or very end of this year. So that's really cool. She's about, what are we now? Probably about 7 years old. That's longer than I've known one of my brothers, who is 3. So that's really cool. Reptiles are one of the best pets to get because of how long they live and how much of an investment they are. So pros and cons, just remember, it's awesome because you get a lifelong friend for a very long time. But the cons are you have to be responsible enough to think, oh, you can be able to look after an animal for that long. When we moved house, I knew I had to take it with me. Didn't matter what was going on. But not everybody can do that, especially with collections that get quite big. Do you have the time and money to be able to take that with you? So bear that in mind, guys. But if you are looking to get an awesome pet, I do recommend getting into the reptile stuff. Again, stay tuned because in a second we're going to be meeting the other half of KG Royals. Good job, guys.
Guys, my name's Kelly. I am the K in KG Royals, George obviously being the G. I'm George's mum. 40 years old. I have 6 children. George is the eldest boy of the 6, 3 girls, 3 boys. So I spend most of my time either sorting out animals or sorting out kids. We've got 32 animals of different varieties in total, so that keeps me quite busy. Obviously having 6 children keeps me quite busy. I'm also disabled. I had an accident 6 years ago and I fractured my spine from the base of my neck down, multiple compression fractures. I still have a fracture at T5 and 2 herniated discs, and the herniated discs have rubbed on my spinal cord and caused nerve damage to my left hand side. Also gave me fibromyalgia. I also have arthritis and chronic brittle asthma. So if I was a puppy, I'd have been drowned at birth. No, don't drown puppies. That's bad. Okay. So George and I have always loved reptiles. I love all and any animal. Huge advocate of loving animals and them being well treated. But we love the reptiles. Not more, but we have a joint passion for them, so is really nice. So we bought 2 pastel snakes, pastels. Mine is an adult. George is a baby. And that was it really. As soon as we got those 2, we were hook, line and sinker, absolutely adored them, still do. And it kind of went from there. We sort of started looking into the keeping and breeding side of things. Many hours on YouTube or the internet. Shout out to all the reptile breeders who have YouTube channels. So many that we absolutely love. We'll probably do a little video at some point sort of shouting out the main people that we kind of watch and look for and enjoy. And yeah, that's how we kind of did most of our research, was YouTube, internet. George is a fantastic researcher. You know, once he's got his mind set on something, that's it. He will research the living daylights out of it, and he will come up with all sorts of knowledge, good, bad, you know, neutral, whatever. Everything you need to know about something, he can find it and explain it. So really good. He's also fab with business, which is wonderful because I can't even remember my kids' names most of the time, let alone anything else. So he is definitely the brains behind everything here at KG Royals. I pretty much bring the love, gotta be honest. I am the bringer of love. So basically, working with George is lovely. I must admit, don't get me wrong, there are days where we're, you know, banging heads against each other about big things, little things, whatever. But I think we're quite good on the old communication front. So we always manage to kind of talk it out, make sure we're on the same page. We have a little meeting each week that is purely just to kind of run through stuff. Obviously, we're up here every single day. Poor George, this is his bedroom as well as our rep room. So the poor kid's got to share his own space with not only lots of reptiles, which he doesn't mind that, he loves that, but he's also got to share it with me because I'm in here all the time. But yeah, he's a very good lad, very good lad. I couldn't ask for a better boy. So yeah, so working with George is lovely. We both talk about every single aspect of the snakes, specifically health and well-being. That's obviously at the forefront of what we do. Absolutely love our reps. We don't have as many as some of you guys, so we do have the luxury of being able to name them, and we also make sure that we spend a certain amount of each day handling them, every single one of them, just to make sure that, you know, they're comfortable with us, and also it gives them a little bit of stimulation. You know, they're not just sat in a rub, so they get to come out and play as such with us. I'm not sure who enjoys it more, us or them. I'm going to go with us, to be honest. But yeah, we're very lucky. We've got some very docile snakes, actually. They're all very easy to handle. They're all very inquisitive. They're brilliant. Absolutely adore them. As do we adore everything, actually, all of our animals. We've got chickens, cat, dog, hamsters. I don't really have much to do with them, that's the girls. The younger girls, crested geckos, leopard geckos, corn snakes. Yeah, so we've got a decent sort of menagerie, really. But for the sake of what we're doing here, it's just about the reps for us on this channel. We'll introduce you to some of our other pets at some point just to mix it up a wee bit. But yeah, just for today, this is a hi from us. Little look into who we are and what we're doing. This is our first year, so we are still kind of figuring things out, working out the best way to do stuff. I think we're okay with regards to the well-being of our animals, but with regards to the breeding, this is a jump in at the deep end for us because we've only just started. And again, the amount of information there is on YouTube from some of you breeders who've been doing it for years is a godsend. It's just a wealth of knowledge that, you know, we really appreciate. So thank you guys for sharing your travels in the snake breeding business, because we do really appreciate that. That's something that has become a staple for us, you know. Oh, what's this? Quick, look on YouTube. One of the guys will know. And yeah, so we hit up your videos and boom, we've got an answer, or we've got an idea, or, you know, so the snake keeping and snake breeding community is fantastic. You don't get much in the way of hate, which is something I'm very up for. I love the whole kind of peace and love vibe. Sorry, bit of a hippie. But yeah, there's it's too easy to be negative. There's too much hate. and haters out there. Just gonna put my teeth back in quickly. So yeah, so when you see people reaching out for help or advice, or just a little bit of a, am I doing this right? Please tell me I'm doing this right. And everyone's positive about it, and they're like, yeah, keep going, you're doing really well. Or, hey, why don't you try this? It's always meant in a positive way. There's always a lot of love behind it, because everyone really cares about the health and well-being of the animals involved. So well done, guys. Keep going with the love. Big up the snake keeping community. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So I'm a mum, I'm a cripple, I'm an animal lover. I'm not a fighter. So that's us. Like I said, George has kind of done the main bits of telling you what we're about and what we're hoping to do, and our plans for the future. We'll do some more videos as well, just so that you guys can have a catch up with us. During the whole COVID-19 thing, it's good to keep in contact. Hope you're all staying safe and staying well. So yeah, that's pretty much us. I hope you didn't find this video too waffly or boring. I'm pretty sure my part was. George is definitely more schooled and well versed in the art of YouTube and videoing. I'm just an old lady trying to keep up. So yeah, let us know what you think, guys. Feel free to comment. If you've got any questions, obviously pop it in the comments, and we'll see what we can do about answering your questions. Probably be from George. I do try to keep up, but it's mainly Georgie, because he's not a mama six, quite frankly. So yeah, guys, I hope you're all well. Remember to love yourselves and each other. Stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon. Okay, bye guys.